All right, welcome back to the last video session for this week. We need to kind of go a little bit farther than what I normally would do. I want to get farther by the end of the year than I normally do. I want to get into the end of the Cold War. So we're taking things a little bit faster this year than I would normally take it. So stand by. We're going to jump right in where we left off with the fallout of the Napoleonic Wars. So, as I said, you're looking at Europe after Napoleon gets done. He's dead. It's gone. What's going to happen now? What is going to happen now? We got a lot of kings, a lot of kingdoms, a lot of pieces of powers that are still old world, very traditional monarchy kind of mentality. The end of the 1700s with its democratic revolution seems to sort of disappear. It doesn't have a place to land. It doesn't have a place to call home where it can kind of grow and become a thing. But that's not necessarily true. It's still a low hum, a low noise. It's things that people still talk about in taverns and in pubs and hotels and cafes and things like that. It's still there. So there needs to be a reaction that's going to be able to put down any kind of rebellion against this traditional monarchy. And all of these kingdoms and all of these powers that you see here that Napoleon sort of left behind, they all need to do something. They're looking at their situation, we got to do something. So what are they going to do? They are going to create a holy alliance. That's the name of it. Initially, it's made up of Russia and Austria and Prussia. Alexander I is in Russia. Francis I is in Austria, and Frederick Wilhelm III is in Prussia. Eventually, most of the other European players are going to join. Britain stays out of it. They don't want to be a part of it. And how is this alliance, this holy alliance, sort of represented? Well, it's represented by characteristics of they are completely against any kind of revolutionary ideas. No revolutionists. Anything that sounds, breathes, walks, quacks like a revolutionist, they're going to put it down. No republics, people. Remember, republics are of the people. Their mindset is that the people set up government to rule as representatives of themselves. None of that. If they pop up, they're around, that's destroyed. They want to bring Christian principles back. Now, I almost want to put Christian principles in air quotes. Why? Well, because their real concern is the old Christian belief of absolute divine right, where, again, God has established and appointed kings and rulers and granted them divine heavenly powers and blessing in order to rule the people, and that there is no avenue to rebel against that, to revolt against it. That's not going to happen. Because why? Because you can't revolt against God. God has appointed these people, you can't go any farther. So, let me get rid of that. So they want to bring that back. They want to restore the expectation upon the commoner. They want the commoner to be morally principled. They really want them to be witless. And by that I mean uneducated, just be simpletons, just be kind of, vapid kind of thing. They want subjects who love the monarchy. They love whatever is going on. They need conformists. So that's what they're going to sort of put out. That's what they want to teach the masses. They want to frown upon anybody that wants to get together for social discussion, because when commoners start talking, they start talking about things that they don't like, and they grumble and they complain about, and that leads to, well, what are we going to do about it? And then that leads to revolt and people standing up and taking down kingdoms. So they want to downplay that. You're caught in a cafe somewhere, you're not in a good spot. The kingly people are going to be in, they're going to be watching this. The only place you can go, really, is church. You can go to church because that's where you're going to be taught to be a good Christian follower of the monarchy. That's where you're going to do. They don't want you to be really learned, very smart, very wise, scholarly in church stuff. They want you to be kind of just, just sheepish. You just kind of come, you do your thing, and you go home, and you be a good little commoner. That's their mentality. That's what they want. And in some respects, that's good. And I want to preface this because you got to look at the situation and the problems, the opportunities and choices. The situation is people get hurt in wars. Innocent people get hurt in wars. They suffer losses. And Napoleon and the revolutionists, that's very bloody. There's a lot of casualties. There's a lot of sorrow. There's a lot of chaos. And so when the Holy Alliance sort of sets itself up with these new expectations and everybody's going to conform and there's no more revolutionists and republics and things like that rising up, there is a sense of peace. So we go from a world of war to a world of peace. And that's good. To a lot of people, that's good. That's a plus. That's a benefit. That's an opportunity. Yes, I have to bow the knee to a king again, but I get peace. My farmland isn't being torn up by armies treading across it. My sons are not having to run off to frivolous wars and dying. The problem is that you're giving up freedoms for this peace. And so the world is balancing this and going, well, are my freedoms more important? Am I losing my freedoms for this peace, this monarchy kind of imposed peace? And is that okay? Or are my freedoms, they're more important and I need to raise those up a little bit, and the peace is not that important. It's not really a true peace. I'm giving up too much. What does it cost me for this peace? What liberties am I giving up? We're currently in the real world, in California, undergoing an election that's coming up in a couple days. And I've asked my class, the students of my class, I want you to weigh what liberties a yes vote or a no vote is going to give to the people that are in power, those who are asking you for that. Every single time we vote, every single time we participate in politics, participate in government, we are participating in this idea of what am I gaining and what do I have to give up to get it? I will always have to give up something, but sometimes that giving up is worth it. Sometimes it's not. And that's really the responsibility of you who are about to get to an age where you can vote. That's what this is all about. And the people of the world, in Europe at least, that's what they're weighing. What am I giving up? Am I giving up too much? So there is lots of unrest. There are moments when there's still revolutionists that are rising up in spots. Those are all those red spots. Again, look at Spain, the northern part of Spain. Lots of revolts and stuff there. Why? The king's still weak. He's not really strong. You look in Italy. Italy is made up of a bunch of little itty-bitty kingdoms. Of course, with smaller kingdoms, people are going to rise up. It's easier to defeat a smaller foe. You're going to see it all over the place. And this takes place between 1819 and 1831. This is all happening all over throughout Europe. So, world's perspective again. What do? Do we give up liberties or do we fight and get our liberties back? We don't want to go back into all that war again, because that's bloody, that's nasty. It will hurt us as much as it might benefit us. So there's this kind of give and take, and there's really unrest throughout Europe, throughout Western world at this time. So when we come back next week, we're going to look at yet another area of revolt, another area of this unrest. Have we got enough liberties? And we're going to look at, can the New World, those that are in the New World, shake off Spain? Can they do that? Can they shake off Portugal? And that's where we're going next week. Hope you didn't overwhelm you, but have fun, and please take notes, come up with some good ideas and key discussion points, good questions, and we'll talk in class later. See you later.